Yeah, it was a it was a hard fought game. I thought our guys did some great things out there. Throughout the game, played with energy, played with some effort. Even there were some balls that were loose that we didn't come up with. That the guys were on the floor, they were diving for it, tipping it, trying their best to come up with it. And that's what you want. You want your guys to be competing to win. And I thought, for the majority of the game, we did do that. This was a tight possession game. We knew it was going to be that way. One of the things that we certainly would like to celebrate was, our guys' ability to take care of the basketball. It's not easy to do against them. They're very long. They're very athletic. They're not afraid to go after your ball. And I think early on, it took us a minute, even though we were scoring some baskets. It took us a minute, to get used to their aggressiveness when they, climbed back in and tied it up. But from then on, our guys were able to get some quality looks. Some that didn't go down for us, and we're confident in the shooters that we have, but we didn't finish the job. Not that we had it by any stretch, but we didn't finish as many plays as we needed to finish in order to win a tough game like that. But credit to Memphis. They've got a good team that's going to continue to do well. I think the season, we feel confident in our group and where it can head, going forward. But certainly no satisfaction in losing a tight game in overtime.
Can we ask you to walk us through the end sequence there? You get the turnover on the inbounds and then a pretty good look for Fats, right? About as good as you can hope for in that situation.
Yeah, we would have liked to have. They forced us into a situation where all of a sudden, they're doubling Max pretty quickly, and I thought he did a good job of getting rid of it. And then Zeb did a nice job of skipping it across when they went at him, and Fats had to fire it, at that point, and it didn't go down. It didn't go down for us, but it wasn't about one play. For us, there was a collection of plays that we'll go back and watch, and probably will be a little irritated with, as a group, not an individual. But there were certainly plays within that game that, could have turned it the other way.
What did you like about your transitional defense? You talked about that.
Yeah, transition early it was bad. All right, it got better. Yeah, it got better, and we forced them into a more of a half-court situation where they had to execute a little bit more. But it's like you can't replicate it in practice. You just have to feel it, and we felt it initially, and they were out, early in that game, and we're yelling at the guys to get back, and we settled in at times, but we also gave up too many, in transition. It weren't necessarily layups. The three, all of a sudden we go up, whatever the margin was there, and then they bang a three in 6 seconds, or less. And it's gonna be tough to win games when you give up, baskets like that.
Coach, foul trouble was an issue tonight. What's your message to the team when something like that happens?
Yeah, it just depends, It certainly, Toby was having a great game, right? And so all of a sudden he's not available for us. That was a big deal, And Firm had a good game, but the ability to be able to go back and forth with those two guys, certainly would have been nice to have had at the end, there. And we were kind of moving Fats and Bell back and forth, offense, defense, and kind of the same with Toby, trying to play him against Jourdain as opposed to Dandridge. And he got matched up on Dandridge a couple of times, and that's where his fouls happened, quite honestly. But, I thought, it's you're going to have fouls in games. The deeper you play in overtime, it's going to happen. And you can't let them get it that close to the basket.
So maybe you won't get 16 and 8 every single night, but the energy you brought, is that something that you want to see?
Yeah, no question. We played them at the 4 a little bit tonight. In the first half, not at all in the second. And I think that's probably, where it's got to head long term. We didn't really do that last game. It doesn't mean he's a 5-man, right? He's a relentless player, in a lot of ways, and really learning the game. But his energy, is huge, for us. He's right on the rim, And you know, I'm proud of what he was able to do tonight from a competitive standpoint.
Coach, what was your thoughts? 39 points off the bench. Nearly half of your offensive production came from the bench. I know you already talked about Toby. What was your thoughts on Jay Nell and Fat's performance?
They were great. Yeah, they were great. You know, Fats, you know, provides a scoring punch, you know, and is becoming a more reliable defender, you know, for us. He's really good at transition. Like you saw that one play in transition where he hammered it home. Like he just glides to the basket, and you know, he's getting stronger, he's getting tougher. You know, Jay Nell is just a seasoned veteran. You know, he gets in there and really provides a steadiness for us. I know he's similar to some of these other guys, you know, like Zeb, where it's just like full time now. You know, in his second year, but you know, they both like Jay Nell had a big shot, right? Zeb found him, and yeah, he's just a really good player.
Do you see Fats taking on more leadership as he grows up? It seems like he's taking on ownership.
Yeah, I mean, we want all of our guys. We want, you know, all of our guys to step into leadership roles. It doesn't mean they're captains, right? And so one of the things about being a leader is leading yourself, right? And that's the first thing that you have to do. It's like being accountable, you know, to your teammates, to your coaches, you know, and you know, being dependable, all right, every single day. And I think that's where Fats is really beginning to grow, you know, as a player, learning the intensity that you have to play with at this level, and he's showing that in his competitiveness. And so I'm really proud of the development that he's, you know, begun to show for us. And so yeah, I mean, he's got major potential, you know, long term.
Fats said they're really close. As far as the team is concerned,
They're tight. Is that what you're saying, or
no,
close games?
Close games.
Yeah, I mean, we like close games. We just got to finish them.
Yeah.
What was your question? I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna get your assessment of the team, being maybe how close are they to kind of making a run, to kind of.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You know, I mean, we can't predict the future, right? And so what I'll tell you is, like, we're not the only team in the country that's, you know, in this situation right now. There's plenty of teams with plenty of names like VCU that have similar records, and we can't get caught up in that. Like, we've got to get caught up in doing the work necessary to become the best possible team that we can be, all right, by the end of this season. And we have to take the steps. You know, there's no skipping steps in order to get there. And you know, we had a couple of bad practices leading into that Norfolk State game, and it bit us, right? And Norfolk State played great. We didn't have bad practices leading into this one, and the guys were attentive, you know, to it. All right, and now we've got to do it again. Like, we've got to be ready. That's what college basketball is all about. There is rest, but there's no rest. All right, it's always here. It's in your head, right? There's physical things that you have to do. There's rest that you have to, you know, partake in. There's knowledge that you have to attain. And some of the knowledge will be transferable, right? Like, so we can learn from this game, and it might happen, you know, 3 games from now, where it's like, oh, okay, Memphis did that, and we have to be able to transfer that and be on it, you know, as opposed to, you know, always having to, you know, figure things out like that. We have to learn faster, and so they're beginning to do that, and so. You know, the thing I told them after this game is, like, the result doesn't change my belief in them, right? We have to tighten some things up, and we have to continue to tighten things up, and we're going to do that. You know, we're excited about where this team can go, and you know, we're still down 2 guys, right, that are good players that we haven't had access to, you know, for this year so far, and you know. We'll see kind of how that shakes out, right? But what I do know is the guys that are out there right now are competing hard for VCU, and you know, that's going to continue. We're going to continue to get better.
You had 5 guys in double digits. What do you take away positively offensively, keeping up with them?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just the ball security, right? Mm-hmm. It's taking care of the ball, being a little bit tougher with the ball, getting shots. You know, getting shots. And there were some clean looks out there that didn't go down for us. they will. We just have to be confident that they will, and keep searching, for those clean looks. And they have a top 30 defense. I think they're 31st in the country or something right now. And I thought our guys, for the most part, did a nice job. And there were some other opportunities out there that we needed to make better plays. And they're going to see those, right? That's all part of learning.
Coach, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Coach, Sunday afternoon back here, and then you don't play a game for a week. How do you look at that game as a springboard, and what do you tell the team for such a long break like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly, first things first, we've got to put all of our attention into our team, right now, and helping our team improve. And I think, we saw some of the, the fruits there, today. There were some aspects in our offensive game that were a little bit better, right? But there's still things to work on, right? And so we've got to get back into practice, leading up to Sunday. We've got to make sure that they have their bodies and their clear minds and they're ready to go for it, on Sunday. We're hopeful that it'll be a great crowd. We're understanding that it's a Sunday, it's a little bit different timing. But if they can get out, we need it. This team needs it. And they feed off of the energy that was there tonight. And we appreciate, everyone that came and participated, in this game for us. But our focus certainly is on ourselves, and it's going to be on our next opponent. And then we'll have a little bit of a break, but it's really not a break for the guys because they're heading into the exams and all that. And, they've got to master that, and that's their next job, is to finish strong there. And then on into Christmas. But here we go.
All good? All right.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thanks, Coach.